The other day, I was extremely busy. My day consisted of a whirlwind of sleeping past my alarm, grabbing a donut for breakfast, rushing and working through lunch, only to have enough time to grab a quick yogurt before going to the gym for leg day. For dinner, though, I had my favorite, a burger and fries. For some reason, after my hectic day was over, I was exhausted physically, but even more so, emotionally. Now, why did I feel like this? I had enough food, I got exercise, I even finished my paper for class, yet my brain felt tired. Many would assume my symptoms are not a result of my action-packed day, but instead the food I ate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. The lack of nutrients in my meals that day had made me feel depleted. It made me feel as though I had done too much. Studies have shown that when one's diet consists of cornstarch, maltodextrin, sucrose, and highly processed foods, the brain's cognitive function diminishes significantly. In 2011, a questionnaire from the Global School Health Survey was administered to over 13,000 Iranian children and families. The survey was intended to measure the children's relationship between junk food consumption and mental health. They asked questions about their BMI, dietary habits, and school life, but more importantly, psychiatric distress, such as anxiety, depression, and aggressions. The results came back shocking. Researchers concluded that the daily intake of sugary foods directly correlated to feelings of psychiatric distress, while the consumption of salty foods related to violent behaviors. While most people probably know that a non-nutritious diet can lead to unhealthy conditions like obesity, studies also show that a non-nutritious diet affects your body beyond physiology. Can poor nutrition affect your mental condition? That's the question many scientists are asking themselves, even to this day. With the obesity rate in America growing to a little over 40%, the need to solve this problem has magnified. Solutions to improve nutrition can be found by focusing on particular nutrients that the body needs. One example is omega-3, an essential fatty acid and nutrient. When a nutrient is said to be essential, it means that the human body cannot produce the nutrient itself. Instead, the nutrient must be obtained directly from diet. We have come to think that fats are always bad for us, but the brain is nearly 60% fat. Essential fatty acids make up 20% of nerve cell membranes, not just in our brain, but throughout our body. When omega-3 is incorporated into nerve cell membranes, it helps the membrane pass signals smoothly. Meanwhile, omega-6 is a fatty acid that many Americans get an abundance of from non-nutritious foods. It is also an essential fatty acid and is healthy in moderation. However, when not enough omega-3 fatty acids are incorporated into our cells, and too much omega-6 fatty acids are, the neurotransmitters may not dock properly. In other words, communication between brain cells changes at least a little bit. Researchers are starting to understand that this can contribute to low serotonin or dopamine levels, which in turn likely contribute to a depressive state on the brain. Let's look at a few specific studies. Ohio State University found that omega-3 fatty acids play a large role in keeping brain function of children healthy. As mentioned, omega-3 fatty acids is essential in cell membranes because of its effect on serotonin and dopamine levels. Dr. Mary Fristad hypothesized that teens who did not receive enough omega-3 would not be able to heal from their depression. Dr. Fristad uses a practice she calls psychoeducational psychotherapy. She assigned 72 depressed adolescents to the study, giving 1/3 of the children 12 weeks of omega-3 alone, another group omega-3 and psychotherapy, and the last group psychotherapy plus a placebo pill. When the 12 weeks were up, the results showed that 77% of the children who received the omega-3 and psychotherapy achieved remission from their depression, compared to the 44% of children who had psychotherapy alone. In other research, Dr. Fristad conducted a study with a combination of omega-3 and psychotherapy, where the experimental group showed a significant improvement on hyperactivity and impulsivity, proving that a lack of nutrition can alter your mental state. So, omega-3 might be part of the solution to the mental health problems that have been recently increasing. Over the past couple of decades, the composition of our diets has caused the omega-3 fatty acids to be replaced by poor quality vegetable oils, generated by huge agricultural corporations. According to Harvard Health, most Americans eat 10 times more omega-6 fats than omega-3. We eat a ratio of 15:1, when our cells prefer a ratio of 1:1. The omega-6 fats come from easy-access snack foods, such as chips, cookies, and ice cream. In addition to potentially diminishing brain health, When the diet becomes predominantly omega-6, diseases such as cardiovascular disease, cancer, and inflammation are likely to occur. The situation might be even worse. Joseph R. Hibbeln is a psychiatrist and former nutritional neurologist at the National Institute of Health. Hibbeln mapped out the consumption of omega-6 fatty acids with the rise in murder rates from 38 countries since the 1960s. As omega-6 consumption goes up, so do homicides. His studies have found that places like Japan, with a diet heavy in fish and omega-3s, have lower murder rates and rates of depression. Of course, there is a difference between correlation and causation. More people drown after eating ice cream than they do after drinking hot chocolate. But ice cream doesn't cause us people to drown. We just tend to swim and boat on hot days when we also eat ice cream. Likewise, there are many factors at play that cause people who have diets high in omega-6 or low in omega-3 to have situations or be in health conditions that make them more prone to violence. So while we cannot conclude that eating tuna fish will cause people to become peaceful citizens, it is certainly worth taking a more in-depth look at the relationship. And the relationship certainly seems to be there. A similar study led by John Stein of Oxford University at the Aylesbury Jail in the UK found that when their prisoners were fed multivitamins, minerals, and essential fatty acids, the number of violent offenses fell by 37%. Another study of girls, aged 9 to 13, showed a decrease in aggressive behavior when omega-3 was added to their diet. Although a poor diet alone isn't the sole factor of major social problems, the studies that were conducted contain strong evidence that poor nutrition plays an important role in cognitive function. As of today, we are in the infancy of understanding how nutrition affects our brain. But with the ever-increasing technology and the recent studies of omega-3, scientists can prove now more than ever that we truly are what we eat. Thank you.